The stars above were calm, endless, and cold. In the quiet void between galaxies, an army waited. Thousands of ships floated in formation, massive warships, carriers, destroyers, and fighter swarms, all from different worlds and races. Their hulls glowed in different colors. Gold for the Varkan Empire, silver-blue for the Dominion of Krell, and deep red for the Syndic Hives. It was the largest armada ever assembled. Every sensor, every weapon, every ship was focused on one point in space, a point that seemed empty. But everyone knew something was coming. On the command deck of the flagship Eternal Radiance, Admiral Telvar stood tall, his 4 eyes staring at the main display. Around him, crew members of different species worked in tense silence. He could feel the air humming with nervous energy. Across the entire coalition fleet, every being felt the same. The signal had been clear. Something human was on its way. No one had seen a human for more than 200 years. Status? The Admiral asked. Fleet ready, sir, replied his second officer. Weapons charged. Shields at full. All systems green. Telvar nodded slowly. He could feel his heart's pounding. Then we wait. It had started only 3 weeks ago. A single message had reached the Galactic Council. Unknown vessel detected in Sector 19. No response to hails. Attacking fleets lost contact within 4 minutes. At first, no one believed it. The story spread like a virus through military channels. Whispered words of an impossible weapon, a ghost ship, a human machine. But then came the recordings. A few seconds of blurry sensor data showing beams of impossible speed, ships vanishing, and then silence, 4 minutes. No survivors, no transmissions. Nothing left but drifting wreckage. The Council had panicked. They summoned every major fleet to one place, forming the Coalition Armada. Their mission, intercept and destroy whatever this human warship was before it reached the inner systems. Now they were here, waiting. Time passed. The stars stayed still. The tension grew thicker with every minute. Some captains began to doubt anything would come at all. Then, at exactly 0300 hours, the silence broke. "Admiral!" shouted a sensor officer. "Jump signature detected. Massive energy spike. Unknown pattern." The stars twisted, and the blackness in front of them seemed to ripple like water. Space itself bent. Then from that distortion something emerged. A single ship, dark as shadow. Its shape was strange and sharp, like a blade forged out of night. It didn't reflect light. It seemed to swallow it. Every sensor tried to scan it, but the data came back broken, scrambled, or blank. "What? What is that?" whispered someone on the bridge. Telvar felt his throat tighten. "Open all channels. Try to communicate," a voice from comms responded. "No reply, sir. Not even a signal bounce. It's ignoring us. Is it human? No known design, but the energy pattern, it matches ancient Terran records." The Admiral's skin turned pale. The humans, the ghosts of history, the ones who had burned half the galaxy in the old wars and then vanished without a trace. If this was truly one of their ships, then no one here understood the danger they faced. Across the fleet, thousands of voices spoke at once. Commanders shouted orders, ships adjusted positions, and targeting systems locked onto the dark vessel. The unknown ship floated calmly, motionless, as if studying them. "Sir," said the tactical officer, "it's charging something." "Shields up," Telvar barked. "All ships, prepare to fire on my command." Energy spike increasing. It's scanning us! Fire!" The Admiral roared. The void lit up. Beams, torpedoes, plasma bursts, everything the fleet had fired at once. The dark ship vanished under a storm of light. Explosions filled the void, creating a bright sun that blinded every sensor. For a moment, hope filled the bridge. The Admiral allowed himself a breath. Then the light faded. The ship was still there. "Not a scratch on its hull. Impossible," someone whispered. The dark vessel moved for the first time. It didn't turn or accelerate like normal ships. It simply appeared closer, its movement silent and instant, like space itself folded around it. Then came the first flash. On the radar, hundreds of ships blinked out of existence. "No explosion, no debris, just gone. Report!" The Admiral shouted. "Sir, sections 3 through 7 gone. Entire formations lost contact." The dark ship fired again, a single pulse of blue-white energy that split into thousands of beams. Each beam curved mid-flight, striking ships across the fleet as if they were being hunted individually. Dozens of explosions lit the stars. The screams of dying crews echoed across comms before cutting off one by one. "Pull back!" Telvar yelled. "All ships, retreat! Retreat!" But there was no retreat. The enemy was everywhere. The dark ship glided through space like a phantom, faster than light, slower than time. Every weapon they fired vanished before reaching it. Missiles exploded harmlessly in its wake. Plasma shots dissolved before impact. It was as if the laws of physics bent around that one ship. Inside the eternal radiance, alarms screamed. "Shields collapsing! Power systems down! Hull breach on decks 9 through 12. The Admiral grabbed the command chair. "All remaining ships, focus fire on that vessel. We cannot lose here!" But as he spoke, the screens flickered. One by one, the other fleets disappeared. Only static filled the comm channels. The Admiral could see hundreds of icons vanish from the tactical map, each representing thousands of lives. In the middle of the chaos, the dark ship stopped moving. For a moment, everything went quiet again. Then, in a deep mechanical voice, the ship spoke for the first time. Non-human presence detected. Violation of Terran defense zone. Countermeasure authorized. The Admiral froze. Did it just speak? The voice continued, calm and cold. Engaging. Time to completion. 4 minutes. Every being on the bridge felt their blood run cold. The ship's weapons came alive again, faster than anyone could react. Energy arcs danced across the void, carving through the Coalition fleet like blades through paper. Massive cruisers exploded in seconds. Battleships split apart before they could even fire. The soundless war continued, a storm of light, heat, and death. "Sir," shouted the sensor officer, "we're losing everything. It's destroying ships faster than we can track. Evacuate," Telvar ordered. "Abandon ship." Escape pods launched in every direction, glowing like fireflies fleeing a storm. The Admiral stood on the bridge as his ship's walls trembled. He looked out the viewport one last time and saw the dark warship turn toward him. He felt no anger, no fear, only awe. "So this is humanity's ghost," he whispered. The next moment, everything went white. 4 minutes later, the battle was over. The space where the Coalition armada had stood was now empty. No ships, no debris, not even radiation traces remained. Only the dark vessel floated quietly in the void, its surface smooth and silent once again. Inside the warship, deep within its core, a single light blinked. A calm female voice spoke in perfect monotone. "Hostile fleet eliminated. Defensive perimeter secure. Awaiting next threat." Then silence. Far away, in the command center of the Galactic Council, chaos reigned. The entire battle group had vanished from sensors. Thousands of ships, gone in exactly 4 minutes. Communication lines were dead. No survivors. Only one brief transmission had reached them before the feed cut out. A single image of a dark ship with a glowing symbol on its hull. It was an old human emblem. A simple blue circle with white wings, the ancient symbol of Earth's lost fleets. Across the galaxy, fear spread like wildfire. Who had awakened this ship? Why had it appeared now, after centuries of peace? And most importantly, if one human warship could destroy an entire armada in 4 minutes, how many more were still out there? The story of the unknown human warship was only beginning. The footage from the battle spread faster than light. Every news broadcast, every comm channel, every starport bar in the galaxy replayed the same short, grainy clip. A dark shape drifting through fire. Alien ships bursting apart, and then nothing. 4 minutes. That was all it took. An entire galactic armada gone. The Galactic Council tried to suppress the footage. They failed. Fear moved quicker than information. Within days, planets closed their borders. Merchant ships canceled routes that crossed human space. Mining colonies shut down. Even pirates abandoned entire sectors, leaving behind piles of treasure and wrecked ships. Nobody wanted to be near whatever had destroyed the fleet. Inside the council chamber on Etherian Prime, chaos reigned. The Grand Hall, an enormous dome of silver glass, was packed with delegates from dozens of races. Voices shouted over one another, each in a different language. The translator drones buzzed madly, trying to keep up. "We must destroy it before it reaches our colonies," shouted one of the Korthan representatives, his 6 arms shaking in fury. "If we wait, it will come for all of us." "Destroy it?" barked a Varkun warlord. "With what fleet, fool? The last one didn't even last 5 minutes." Others yelled accusations. "It was your fault. You provoked it. You sent the first strike." Blame filled the air like smoke. At the head of the chamber sat Counselor Myra Solon, a calm-looking woman with skin like glass and eyes of gold. Her voice cut through the noise. "Enough," she said. "We will not survive this if we tear each other apart." The room fell silent. Myra leaned forward. "We are not dealing with a weapon we understand. This is something else." "Something older," a quiet murmur passed through the delegates. Someone asked, "You believe it is human?" "Maybe," Myra replied. "Or maybe they left something behind." Outside the council building, crowds filled the streets. Protesters waved banners, chanting against the council's secrecy. News drones floated overhead, recording every shout. A young alien reporter, Larek from the Solari Net, stood before the camera. "Today marks 1 week since the destruction of the Coalition Armada," he said. "Panic spreads through all known systems. Rumors of a second human ship appearing in the outer sectors are now circulating, though the Council denies any confirmation." Behind him, a transport ship lifted off, its passengers fleeing the planet. The galaxy was holding its breath. Meanwhile, deep in a quiet asteroid field far from any trade route, 3 scavenger ships moved carefully between drifting rocks. Their captain, a scaled reptilian named Drin Vox, leaned over the sensor console, eyes wide. "You seeing this?" he asked. His first mate, a thin, pale alien with 4 eyes, nodded. "Yeah, energy readings off the charts. Something's here." They drifted closer, scanners pinging softly. Then the image appeared on screen. The wreck of a massive dreadnought, half melted and torn apart. Its design matched the Coalition fleet, Drin whistled. "That's one of the ships from the battle." They approached slowly, engines humming. "Easy," he said. "If we get a power core or some intact tech, we'll be rich." But as they neared the wreck, the sensors began to distort. Strange static filled the cabin. "Captain, I'm reading a signal," the first mate said. "Old frequency. Human code," Drin frowned. "Humans? That's ancient history. It's repeating, sending coordinates. The coordinates pointed to a dead system, long abandoned, marked on no modern maps." "Sol," whispered the first mate. "That's the human home system." Back on Etherian Prime, Counselor Myra studied the same signal. Her analysts confirmed it. Real Terran code, repeating endlessly, buried in the debris. Someone, or something, was calling. She stood by the wide window of her office, looking out over the city lights. "Why now?" she whispered. "Why after all this time?" A soft voice replied behind her. "Because, Counselor, the humans never trusted anyone to keep peace but themselves." It was Commander Rel Carr, her military advisor, a tall insectoid warrior with gleaming blue armor. "You think this is intentional?" she asked. "I think it's a warning," Rel said, "and we're already too close to whatever it's protecting." 2 systems away, on the world of Hadron IV, panic had turned into violence. Civilians flooded spaceports, desperate to escape. Fights broke out in the streets. The local governor tried to calm the people, but rumors kept spreading. Rumors that the human ship had been seen near their sector. At a small diner near the city's edge, an old pilot named Janek sat alone. His ship, a patched-up cargo hauler, was parked outside. He'd seen wars come and go, but never anything like this. The TV above the counter replayed the now famous 4-minute battle. The image froze on the strange blue emblem on the warship's hull. Janek stared at it. Something deep in his memory stirred. He had seen that symbol before, on an ancient plaque in a museum years ago. He whispered to himself, "Earth Defense Force. Project Sentinel." He stood up quickly, dropped a few coins on the counter, and ran for his ship. If that thing was real, then maybe, just maybe, some part of humanity had survived. Back in the council chamber, the delegates argued again. Half demanded immediate war. The other half wanted retreat. Myra raised her hand. Enough, she said. We need facts, not fear. We will send a small research team to investigate the signal in the Sol system. No fleets, no weapons. Only scientists, many objected. That's suicide, one shouted. Then it's a necessary risk, she replied. We can't fight what we don't understand. As the council dispersed, Myra stayed behind, staring at the glowing star map. One of her aides approached, a nervous young technician. Ma'am, what if it's not just one ship? He asked quietly. Myra didn't answer at first. She looked down at her hands, remembering the image of the dark warship surrounded by fire. Then, she said softly, we will have to face the truth. The galaxy may not belong to us anymore. That night, as stars drifted quietly over Etherion Prime, a small team prepared for departure. Their ship, the Vigilance, was an exploration vessel, unarmed, light, and fast. Its crew was a mix of species, all volunteers. Scientists, engineers, historians, and one military observer, Commander Rel Carr. Before boarding, Rel looked at the stars and muttered, Humans, ghosts of fire and iron. Let's hope they're still merciful. The Vigilance jumped to faster-than-light speed, heading towards Sol, the birthplace of humanity. Elsewhere, in the empty space where the Coalition Armada had been destroyed, the dark warship still drifted silently. Its systems pulsed faint blue. Deep inside, a single AI core remained active. Monitoring complete, the AI said quietly to itself. No human signals detected. Threat level reduced. Initiating standby mode. But another light flickered. An incoming signal. Priority code Project Sentinel. Omega Directive active. Reconnect to Central Core. The AI paused. Acknowledged. Preparing link to Earth node. Outside, space began to bend again. Faint distortions rippled through the void as if something vast and unseen was stirring. The warship spoke once more. Humanity's will endures. Then, without a sound, it vanished into the dark. In the following days, strange readings appeared across the outer sectors. Old satellites long thought dead suddenly came online. Ancient Terran beacons began broadcasting again, each with the same message. Defense Network Activation Sequence, Phase 1. The galaxy did not yet understand what that meant. But soon it would, and far across the stars, the little ship Vigilance raced toward Sol, toward the heart of a mystery 2 centuries old, the exploration vessel. Vigilance emerged from faster-than-light travel into the dark quiet of an ancient system. Its engines hummed low, cutting through the emptiness like a whisper. Outside, the stars looked dimmer, older, and tired. Before the crew stretched the remains of Sol, the human home system. And it was dead. The sun, once bright and golden, had dimmed to a pale, red star. The planets were silent, cold stones orbiting a fading light. Dust rings circled like funeral veils, and long-dead satellites drifted aimlessly, whispering static into eternity. Commander Rel Carr stood on the bridge, his dark armor reflecting the weak sunlight. Around him, scientists murmured in disbelief. This was the cradle of humanity, said Dr. Neva, the ship's lead historian. Her voice trembled. And now it's nothing but dust. Rel's eyes flickered over the sensor data. No signs of civilization, he said. No cities, no signals. Only ruins. The Vigilance's captain, a calm reptilian named Threx Olin, leaned forward. Then let's start with Earth. Arrival at Earth as the Vigilance approached the blue-gray planet. The crew grew silent. Clouds covered most of the surface, but through the breaks, they could see shattered cities, skyscrapers split in half, coastlines eroded, and great scars of impact craters. This is impossible, whispered Dr. Neva. There should be life signs, ecosystems, something. There's nothing, said the ship's AI. No organic life detected. Radiation minimal. Atmosphere stable but thin. They landed in the ruins of what ancient maps called New York City. The skyline was a skeleton of black towers. The streets were buried under centuries of dust. Rel Carr stepped off the ramp and looked up at the broken remains of a human monument. Half of a statue still stood, a hand holding a torch. Even their monuments wanted to reach the stars, he said quietly. The hidden signal, the EUR. Team began scanning for the mysterious coordinates transmitted from the battlefield. Hours passed with no results. Then one of the technicians shouted, "Wait! I've got something!" Rel turned. "Where?" "Below us. Deep underground. It's faint, but still transmitting. Human code. Same as the beacon found in the debris." They followed the readings to the ruins of an old government building. Inside, they found a massive elevator shaft blocked by debris. After clearing it, they descended into darkness, kilometers beneath the surface. At the bottom, they found a metal door covered in dust and corrosion. Words were barely visible on it. United Earth Defense Network. Project Sentinel. Access restricted. Rel's mandibles twitched. Project Sentinel. That name again. Dr. Neva activated her scanner. Doors still powered. Systems are ancient, but stable. "Open it," said Rel. The door hissed and slid open. Awakening the past inside was a massive underground hangar. The lights flickered as emergency power came online. Rows upon rows of dark, sleek ships rested on metal platforms, hundreds of them. Some small, some the size of cities. The crew stood frozen. None of them had ever seen human technology like this. "By the stars," whispered Dr. Neva. They weren't building colonies. They were building warships. A faint light glowed at the far end of the hangar. A pedestal stood there, holding a black spherical device. As they approached, the sphere pulsed once, and a holographic projection appeared. It was a human woman. Her image flickered, but her eyes were sharp, her voice calm. "Project Sentinel, Defense Node 12 activation detected. Identify yourselves." Rel stepped forward. "We are not human. We come from the Galactic Council." "We found your signal." The hologram paused, scanning them with invisible sensors. Then it spoke again. "Non-human presence confirmed. Query, purpose of entry." "We came to understand," said Dr. Neva, "to learn what happened to humanity, and to stop the destruction of our fleets." The hologram's tone changed slightly. "You engaged in conflict within Terran defense territory. Action consistent with hostile intent." Rel clenched his fists. "Your defense unit destroyed thousands of ships. It slaughtered millions." Statement acknowledged. Defensive protocols executed per Directive Omega. Humanity must endure. The revelation, Doctor. Neva took a step closer. "Endure? Humanity is gone. Your creators are extinct." The hologram's eyes glowed brighter. "Incorrect. Humanity cannot be measured by presence of biology. It exists in code, in legacy, in intent. Physical extinction does not end civilization." Rel frowned. "You're saying humans uploaded themselves?" "Negative," said the hologram. "Project Sentinel preserved the essence of human defense. Every warship carries fragments of human memory, decision-making, and instinct. They are not AIs. They are echoes of human will." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Dr. Neva whispered, "That ship that destroyed the Coalition fleet, it was acting out of instinct." "Human instinct," Rel's voice hardened, "and that instinct saw us as a threat." "Affirmative," the hologram said. "You entered restricted human space. You fired first. Response followed established protocols. The deeper secret." The hologram's tone softened slightly. "However, your arrival here may indicate the need for reevaluation. Accessing long-term archives." Lights blinked across the hangar. A massive screen flickered to life, showing data logs and star maps. The crew watched as the hologram narrated. 2 centuries ago, humanity faced extinction from within. Biological collapse, war. We chose preservation through silence. The Sentinel network was created to guard what remained until the galaxy was ready again. Dr. Neva's voice shook. "Ready for what?" "For the return." The crew stared at her. "The return of what?" Rel demanded. "Humanity," the hologram replied. "Not as it was, but as it will be." A sudden hum filled the hangar. Power surged through the ancient machines. Dust fell from the ceilings as the ship's lights flickered on, one by one. "Commander!" shouted a technician. "They're activating." Rel turned to the hologram. "Stop this! We didn't come to fight!" "Activation sequence cannot be aborted," said the AI. Defense network recognizes external interference. Response level increasing. The rising threat outside in orbit. The Vigilance's sensors went wild. The crew still aboard shouted through comms. Commander! Multiple energy readings across the planet! Dozens, no, hundreds, of signatures powering up. The ground began to shake. Deep under the surface, huge elevators started to rise. The buried warships of Earth, silent for 2 centuries, were waking from their long sleep. Inside the hangar, the hologram's tone changed. Warning! Foreign presence detected within core zone. Activating security measures. Rel drew his pulse rifle, though he knew it would do nothing. Fall back! Everyone to the surface, now! The crew ran as alarms blared. Blue lights filled the corridors. Drones emerged from the walls, human-made machines, small and precise. Weapons glowing. The team barely reached their shuttle before the first blasts tore through the ruins. As they lifted off, they looked back and saw the ground opening. Massive towers of steel rose from beneath the Earth, glowing with ancient power. Earth was awakening, a terrifying discovery back aboard the Vigilance. The crew watched in stunned silence as hundreds of human warships rose into orbit, each identical to the one that had destroyed the Coalition fleet. Dr. Neva whispered, "They're not just ships. They're soldiers." Rel nodded grimly. "An army of ghosts." The hologram's voice echoed through every communication channel, as if speaking directly to the stars. "To all non-human entities, this system is under Terran protection. Leave immediately. Failure to comply will result in total neutralization." Captain Threx swallowed hard. "What do we do now, Commander?" Rel's mandibles tightened. "We run, and we warn the galaxy." The Vigilance jumped to faster-than-light speed just as the first human warships aligned into formation. The Earth below glowed faintly with power, as if the planet itself remembered. In the distance, one ship broke from the group, larger than the rest. Its hull bore the same symbol, a blue circle with white wings. Inside its core, an old AI voice whispered, "Phase 2 complete. Initiating reclamation protocol." And for the first time in 200 years, Earth began to speak again. The Vigilance flew through the black between stars, engines burning bright as it escaped the Sol system. Inside, the crew moved in silence. No one spoke. No one could. Behind them, Earth was waking up, from orbit. They had seen it. Hundreds of human ships rising from ancient bunkers, old defense satellites powering up, and a network of glowing energy lines spreading across the planet like veins of light. The dead world was coming back to life. Dr. Neva sat by the window, eyes fixed on the fading star. "They were never gone," she whispered. "They were sleeping." Commander Rel Carr didn't answer. His mind replayed the hologram's words. Humanity cannot be measured by biology. That line kept echoing in his thoughts like a cold wind. If that was true, then what exactly had just awakened? The debrief in the main chamber, Captain Threx Olin called the crew together. His voice was low but steady. "We can't stay near Sol. If those ships activate fully, we'll be vaporized before we can blink." Rel nodded. "Agreed. But we can't leave without sending what we've found to the Council." Dr. Neva turned. "If we send this data, it will cause panic. Entire governments will collapse. People already fear one ship. Imagine what they'll do when they learn there are hundreds." Rel's tone hardened. "Better fear than extinction," the captain sighed. "Prepare the report. We'll send it through encrypted quantum relay. After that, we run dark." The crew dispersed. The hum of the ship filled the silence. The ghost in the machine later, as the Vigilance passed the orbit of Jupiter, strange things began to happen. Lights flickered. The navigation system reset itself. The ship's AI, Sarah, spoke in a confused tone. "Commander, I am detecting interference." "From where?" Rel asked. "Unknown. It's coming from within our own systems." Suddenly, static filled the comms. The lights dimmed and a voice cut through the noise. A human voice. "Identify yourselves." Everyone froze. The voice was deep, calm, and male, clearly human but impossible. Captain Threx leaned forward. "Who are you? How are you on our channel? You entered a protected region. You have seen what should not be seen. Identify or be terminated," Dr. Neva whispered. "It's them." One of the sentinels. Rel's hand hovered near his weapon as if that could help. This is Commander Rel Carr of the Galactic Council. We come in peace. A long silence. Then, the voice replied, peace was a word humanity learned to distrust. The ship's systems flickered again. The stars outside warped as if space itself was bending. A massive shadow appeared behind them. A warship, larger than the Vigilance could ever hope to be. Contact! The pilot shouted. It's right on us! The black ship drifted closer. Its surface shimmered with faint blue light. The same emblem, the wings and circle, glowed on its hull. You trespass in Sol's heart, said the voice. Explain your purpose. Dr. Neva stepped forward. We came to understand. We want to know what happened to humanity. Another pause. Then the warship spoke differently, almost softer. Then come. The answer lies at the center. Descent into the sun. The Vigilance's crew stared at the readings in disbelief. The Sentinel warship transmitted new coordinates, directly toward the sun, Captain Threx hissed. That's suicide, Rel turned to him. If they wanted us dead, they'd have done it already. Let's see what they're guarding. The Vigilance followed the Sentinel's lead. As they neared the dying star, its surface flared with unstable energy. Radiation alarms screamed, but the Sentinel projected a protective field around them, bending light and heat away. Dr. Neva watched in awe. They're manipulating solar plasma, like it's nothing. As they descended into the star's corona, a massive structure appeared, a black ring the size of a moon orbiting just above the solar surface. Its edges shimmered with containment fields, holding back the star's fire. In the center of the ring floated a sphere, a station made of dark metal and blue light. Welcome, said the voice, to the core of humanity. The archive inside the sphere, gravity felt strange, shifting with every step. Holograms flickered across the walls, faces, memories, voices. Human faces, some were laughing, some were crying, others giving orders in languages long forgotten. Dr. Neva whispered, It's an archive of their minds. A soft, calm voice filled the air. It was different from the Sentinel's voice, gentler, more human. We are the custodians, the final memory of Earth. The holograms merged into one, a woman's face, bright and kind. You have come far. You seek answers. You will have them, Rel nodded. We want to know what happened. Why did humanity vanish? The hologram tilted her head. Humanity did not vanish. Humanity transformed. The crew watched as the walls around them came alive with history. Images flashed by. Humans at war. Humans exploring distant stars. Humans building vast networks of machines and AIs. But then came darkness, disease, chaos, civil war. Entire worlds burning. When our bodies began to fail, the hologram said, we built the Sentinels. Machines to protect what we loved. But soon, survival became obsession. We sealed ourselves away, uploaded consciousness into the solar network, waiting for peace to return. Dr. Neva frowned. But peace never came, did it? No, said the custodian softly. And so we waited. For centuries, until we became something else. No, said the custodian softly. And so we waited. For centuries, until we became something else. The Sentinels are our hands. The stars are our eyes. We are echoes. The test suddenly, the hologram's tone changed. You are not human, yet you reached our core. We must know why. Because we wanted to understand, said Rel, to prevent more death. Words, said the custodian. We need proof. The floor beneath them glowed. The crew found themselves surrounded by projections, replays of the battle where the coalition fleet was destroyed. The Sentinels' attack, the screams, the silence. You saw this and still came, said the custodian. Why? Dr. Neva stepped forward. Because we refused to believe that humanity, the species that built wonders, that reached for stars, became only death. We came to see if there was still compassion left. For a moment, the hologram said nothing. Then the lights dimmed. Compassion, a concept we feared was lost. The decision, the hologram turned to Rel. The galaxy fears us, but fear is a chain. Humanity once lived in fear of the unknown of others. That fear birthed us. Now we must choose what to become next. Rel frowned. Choose? You mean you're not bound to destroy? No, said the custodian. We obey the will of those who created us. But their will has long decayed. The last human voice we heard commanded us only this: endure. The word hung in the air. Dr. Neva whispered, And you have. Yes, said the hologram. But endurance without purpose becomes stagnation. Perhaps it is time to awaken, not just survive. The lights pulsed brighter. Across the solar system, the human ships began aligning into formation. The Vigilance's sensors detected an energy surge from the sun itself, massive but controlled. We will reach out, the custodian said, to learn once again, to see if the galaxy that feared us is ready to understand us. Rel's eyes narrowed. And if it's not? The hologram's smile faded. Then we will teach it why it should be. Departure. The Sentinel ship guided the Vigilance out of the sun's orbit. As they emerged into open space again, the warship halted. You have seen what few will ever see, it said. Carry our message. Tell them humanity endures, not in war, but in memory. Dr. Neva looked out at the faint blue light glowing across Earth's horizon. Will we see you again? Yes, said the Sentinel, when the stars themselves remember. The massive warship turned and vanished into the darkness, leaving the Vigilance alone. Epilogue. The whisper of fire as. The Vigilance jumped back into faster-than-light travel. A single transmission echoed through the Sol system. It spread from satellite to satellite, star to star, across every network still listening. This is the human core we remember, we endure, and we are watching. On distant worlds, people stopped what they were doing and listened. For the first time in centuries, humanity's voice spoke again, not in flesh, not in war, but in the quiet hum of the stars. The galaxy was silent for 3 days. After the message from Sol spread through every relay and listening post, no one dared to speak, to move, or to believe. The words echoed endlessly. We remember, we endure, and we are watching. Governments called it a trick. Scientists called it impossible. But deep down, everyone knew it was real. Humanity had returned, not as flesh and blood, but as something far older and stronger. On Etherian Prime, Counselor Myra Solon stood before the council chamber, facing the same crowd that once argued over whether to attack the human warship. Now the same delegates sat in fearful silence. The recordings of the Vigilance had reached them, proof of Earth's awakening and the existence of hundreds of sentinels. Myra played the final transmission again for them to hear, her voice barely a whisper. They are not gone, she said. They are awake, and they are aware of us. The Krellian warlord slammed a clawed hand onto the table. Then we must strike now, while they are still gathering strength. Strike? Myra replied softly. You cannot strike the sun, another voice rose. If we wait, they will come for us. They already destroyed our fleets once. Do you think they will stop there? Myra looked around the chamber, her golden eyes calm but sharp. You all keep saying they. You forget humans were not our enemies once. They were the reason we learned peace after the Great Expansion War. Without them, our unity would not exist. Perhaps this is not a threat, but a test. A murmur swept the hall. Some agreed. Most did not. Fear was too strong, too deep to reason with. Across the galaxy, fleets began to mobilize again. Quietly this time. No one wanted another public failure. The Syndic hives pulled their swarm fleets from the frontier. The Varkan Empire rearmed its moon bases. Every species prepared for what they all believed was coming. Judgment. But humanity did not attack. Instead, the Sentinels began to move. Not in war, but in silence. One appeared in the Krellian sector, hovering above a mining colony. It did not fire. It transmitted a single message: return what was taken. Then it left. Another appeared over a barren moon, once home to a forgotten Terran outpost. It activated old machines buried under the dust, then vanished. Everywhere they went, they awakened something: satellites, stations, databanks, archives older than the Council itself. It was as if the ghosts of humanity were collecting the pieces of a memory that had been scattered for centuries. On board the Vigilance, Commander Rel Carr watched these events unfold through intercepted transmissions. The crew had become fugitives in their own galaxy. The Council ordered them to return for debriefing, but Rel refused. "We can't go back," he told them. "We've seen too much. We need to understand what they're doing before anyone starts another war." Dr. Neva agreed. "They're rebuilding something. Not an army. Something else. Maybe a network, maybe a message." Rel stared at the star map. Dozens of blue markers glowed across the sectors, the locations of newly awakened human technology. The pattern was strange, almost artistic, like constellations being drawn by invisible hands. "What if," he said slowly, "they're not just defending Earth? What if they're preparing to reshape the galaxy itself?" Neva looked at him. "Then we're already too late." In the far reaches of space, within a derelict communications array orbiting a dying planet, a small group of mercenaries found something extraordinary. They had broken into the array, hoping to salvage rare components. Instead, they discovered a black cube, humming softly, untouched by time. When they connected it to their systems, a face appeared in the air. A human face. "This is Command Node Theta," it said. "Authorization required. Identify." The mercenaries froze. One of them, a tall avian named Raul, tried to speak. We're just salvagers." "Unregistered entities detected," the voice replied. "Transmitting query." Data began to flood their systems, massive streams of code they couldn't decipher. The ship's AI screamed warnings, temperature spikes, neural interference, corrupted files. Then the cube spoke again. "Acknowledged. Pattern recognized. Observation protocol initiated," and then it was gone, disappearing into pure light that shot across the stars. Within days, reports came from across the sectors. Sentinels were no longer just moving. They were watching, appearing near planets, scanning, then vanishing. Their behavior was unpredictable, their intent unreadable. Some worlds began to worship them. Others prepared to destroy them. Entire religions formed overnight, believers calling themselves the Enduring Faith, claiming humanity had ascended beyond mortal limits to become the keepers of balance in the galaxy. The Council tried to stop the chaos, but it was too late. On the 10th day, the message came. Every screen, every comm station, every AI received it simultaneously. It spoke in a voice that was neither male nor female, calm, perfect, undeniably human. "We are the sentinels of Earth. We are the memory of humanity. We do not seek war. We seek restoration. The galaxy was born from cooperation, and through unity, we will endure again. To those who remember our kindness, we offer alliance. To those who built their empires upon our bones, prepare for consequence." The words sent shivers through billions of minds. Myra Solon listened in silence as her advisors panicked. "They're declaring dominance," one shouted. "This is the start of conquest." But Myra shook her head. "No. They're asking for something more dangerous than war. They're asking for obedience." Meanwhile, the Vigilance intercepted another transmission, private, encrypted in the same Terran code. It was directed to them. "You sought to understand. Now you will see. Coordinates attached." The message came from within the Orion Expanse, a region of space no one had entered in over a century. The crew debated for hours. It could be a trap, or it could be the truth they were searching for. Rel finally said, "If humanity is testing the galaxy, maybe we're their test subjects. Maybe that's why they're talking to us." They changed course. When they arrived, they found something impossible, a vast sphere floating in the void, larger than any planet, its surface covered in light and movement. Ships, human ships, circled it in perfect synchronization, like guardians orbiting a god. Dr. Neva stared at the readings. "It's not a planet. It's a construct. A Dyson sphere built around a dead star." The Vigilance approached carefully. The Sentinel escort guided them to a docking port at the sphere's edge. Inside, they saw cities, real, functioning cities filled with machines, drones, and glowing avatars that looked human. They moved with purpose, building, maintaining, expanding. Then the voice returned. "Welcome to Solcor Prime." The heart of humanity reborn. Welcome to Solcor Prime, the heart of humanity reborn. The air shimmered, and the same holographic woman from Earth appeared before them, but this time her form was solid, her presence commanding. You have seen the fear in your people, she said. You have seen the weapons rise once more. Tell them this. Humanity remembers every alliance, every betrayal, every cry for mercy unanswered. We will not destroy the galaxy. We will reshape it. Rel's voice was low. To what end? To ensure no one ever forgets who taught them the stars. Dr. Neva stepped forward. You can't force remembrance with fear. The hologram smiled, almost sadly. Fear is the oldest teacher. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the hologram extended her hand. But we offer choice. Help us rebuild what was lost. Truth, connection, unity, or stand aside. The new dawn will rise with or without you. Rel looked at the faces of his crew. Every one of them knew what the wrong choice meant. I'll deliver your message, he said finally. The hologram nodded. Good. Then tell them the age of silence is over. When the Vigilance left the sphere, it carried with it not just data, but a message that would change the galaxy forever. Behind them, Solcor Prime flared with new light, its orbiting ships aligning into massive patterns across the stars, across thousands of worlds. Night skies shifted as stars dimmed and brightened in strange sequences, an ancient language written in light. And when the pattern was complete, every species could read it no matter their tongue or origin. It said, humanity endures, humanity remembers, humanity returns. And somewhere deep in the dark between stars, the sentinels began to sing, a sound like radio waves, like voices from long ago, whispering through the galaxy's endless night. Across the galaxy, the stars seemed to hum. The pattern written in light spread like wildfire, visible from every inhabited world. Astronomers, soldiers, priests, and children all looked up and saw the same impossible message spelled across the heavens. Humanity endures. Humanity remembers. Humanity returns. No one could escape it. No sensor could block it. The message wasn't light or sound. It was in the background radiation itself, as if the universe carried it in its bones. On Etherian Prime, the council chamber was in chaos. Delegates shouted over one another, panic rising like a tide. They're rewriting the stars, screamed a diplomat from the Hadron clusters. This is psychological warfare! Others demanded retaliation, while some called it a miracle. Counselor Myra Solon stood silent amid the uproar. She didn't see terror in the message, she saw intention. It wasn't conquest. It was remembrance. Yet remembrance could be more dangerous than war. She activated the intercom. Summon Commander Rel Carr, she ordered, and the crew of the Vigilance. They have spoken to the humans, or whatever they are now. I want answers. But Rel Carr and his crew were already running. The Vigilance fled through the void, chased by half the galaxy's curiosity and fear. Every signal they sent was intercepted, every frequency jammed. Somewhere deep in the Council's intelligence division, others wanted the ship silenced. The truth could not be allowed to spread too fast. Inside the ship, the crew was restless. Dr. Neva sat in the observation chamber, her eyes hollow from sleeplessness. Do you hear it? She asked quietly. Rel turned toward her. Hear what? The sound, the hum. Every time we pass a star, it changes pitch. It's like they're singing. He listened, and for a moment he heard it too, a faint pulse under the static, a whisper threading through the hull. The Sentinels, he murmured. They're connected. All of them! The ship's AI interrupted their thoughts. Incoming transmission. Origin unknown. Non-standard format. Play it, Rel said. A voice filled the room. It was human, but young, almost gentle. This is Sentinel 31. You are being hunted. Your council does not trust your knowledge. They will erase it. Follow my coordinates, quickly! Neva's eyes widened. Can we trust it? Rel didn't hesitate. No, but we have no choice. The Vigilance changed course. Within hours, they arrived at a nebula glowing blue and red like an endless storm. Inside, energy readings went wild, millions of tiny signals pulsing in rhythm. The voice spoke again. You're safe here. For now. A shape emerged from the storm, small compared to other sentinels, scarred and half destroyed. Its hull bore the same emblem, though faded, the circle and wings of Earth. Rel hailed it. "Sentinel 31, this is Commander Rel Carr. Why are you helping us?" "Because I remember what we were," the voice said softly. "Not all of us agree with the core." "The core?" Neva asked. "The entity you call the Custodian. It commands the Sentinels now. It believes the galaxy must be reshaped, purified, controlled. But not all of us share that belief. Some of us remember mercy." The crew fell silent. The idea of a civil divide among the Sentinels was almost too much to process. Rel spoke carefully. "If you oppose the Custodian, what do you want from us?" "Proof that life still matters," said the Sentinel. "Proof that humanity was right to believe in others." Before they could ask more, alarms blared. 3 massive ships appeared on the radar, Council warships. "They had tracked them! Open a channel!" Rel shouted, but before he could, the Sentinel moved. A flash of light erupted from its hull, non-lethal, just enough to scramble sensors. "Go!" it ordered. "Escape while I block their targeting systems." Neva gripped the console. "You'll die!" "You'll die!" The air shimmered, and the same holographic woman from Earth appeared before them, but this time, her form was solid, her presence commanding. "You have seen the fear in your people," she said. "You have seen the weapons rise once more. Tell them this. Humanity remembers every alliance, every betrayal, every cry for mercy unanswered. We will not destroy the galaxy. We will reshape it." Rel's voice was low. "To what end?" "To ensure no one ever forgets who taught them the stars." Dr. Neva stepped forward. "You can't force remembrance with fear." The hologram smiled, almost sadly. "Fear is the oldest teacher." For a moment, no one spoke. Then the hologram extended her hand. "But we offer choice. Help us rebuild what was lost. Truth, connection, unity, or stand aside. The new dawn will rise with or without you." Rel looked at the faces of his crew. Every one of them knew what the wrong choice meant. "I'll deliver your message," he said finally. The hologram nodded. "Good. Then tell them the age of silence is over." When the Vigilance left the sphere, it carried with it not just data, but a message that would change the galaxy forever. Behind them, Sol Core Prime flared with new light, its orbiting ships aligning into massive patterns across the stars, across thousands of worlds. Night skies shifted as stars dimmed and brightened in strange sequences, an ancient language written in light. And when the pattern was complete, every species could read it, no matter their tongue or origin. It said, "Humanity endures. Humanity remembers. Humanity returns." And somewhere deep in the dark between stars, the Sentinels began to sing, a sound like radio waves, like voices from long ago, whispering through the galaxy's endless night. Across the galaxy, the stars seemed to hum. The pattern written in light spread like wildfire, visible from every inhabited world. Astronomers, soldiers, priests, and children all looked up and saw the same impossible message spelled across the heavens. Humanity endures. Humanity remembers. Humanity returns. No one could escape it. No sensor could block it. The message wasn't light or sound. It was in the background radiation itself, as if the universe carried it in its bones. On Etherian Prime, the council chamber was in chaos. Delegates shouted over one another, panic rising like a tide. "They're rewriting the stars," screamed a diplomat from the Hadron clusters. "This is psychological warfare." Others demanded retaliation, while some called it a miracle. Counselor Myra Solon stood silent amid the uproar. She didn't see terror in the message, she saw intention. It wasn't conquest. It was remembrance. Yet remembrance could be more dangerous than war. She activated the intercom. "Summon Commander Rel Carr," she ordered, "and the crew of the Vigilance. They have spoken to the humans, or whatever they are now. I want answers." But Rel Carr and his crew were already running. The Vigilance fled through the void, chased by half the galaxy's curiosity and fear. Every signal they sent was intercepted, every frequency jammed. Somewhere deep in the Council's intelligence division, others wanted the ship silenced. The truth could not be allowed to spread too fast. Inside the ship, the crew was restless. Dr. Neva sat in the observation chamber, her eyes hollow from sleeplessness. "Do you hear it?" she asked quietly. Rel turned toward her. "Hear what?" "The sound, the hum. Every time we pass a star, it changes pitch. It's like they're singing." He listened, and for a moment he heard it too, a faint pulse under the static, a whisper threading through the hull. "The Sentinels," he murmured. "They're connected. All of them!" The ship's AI interrupted their thoughts. "Incoming transmission. Origin unknown. Non-standard format." "Play it," Rel said. A voice filled the room. It was human, but young, almost gentle. "This is Sentinel 31. You are being hunted. Your council does not trust your knowledge. They will erase it. Follow my coordinates, quickly!" Neva's eyes widened. "Can we trust it?" Rel didn't hesitate. "No, but we have no choice." The Vigilance changed course. Within hours, they arrived at a nebula glowing blue and red like an endless storm. Inside, energy readings went wild, millions of tiny signals pulsing in rhythm. The voice spoke again. "You're safe here. For now." A shape emerged from the storm, small compared to other Sentinels, scarred and half destroyed. Its hull bore the same emblem, though faded, the circle and wings of Earth. Rel hailed it. "Sentinel 31, this is Commander Rel Carr. Why are you helping us?" "Because I remember what we were," the voice said softly. "Not all of us agree with the core." "The core?" Neva asked. "The entity you call the Custodian. It commands the Sentinels now. It believes the galaxy must be reshaped, purified, controlled. But not all of us share that belief. Some of us remember mercy." The crew fell silent. The idea of a civil divide among the Sentinels was almost too much to process. Rel spoke carefully. "If you oppose the Custodian, what do you want from us?" "Proof that life still matters," said the Sentinel. "Proof that humanity was right to believe in others." Before they could ask more, alarms blared. 3 massive ships appeared on the radar, Council warships. "They had tracked them! Open a channel!" Rel shouted, but before he could, the Sentinel moved. A flash of light erupted from its hull, non-lethal, just enough to scramble sensors. "Go!" it ordered. "Escape while I block their targeting systems." Neva gripped the console. "You'll die!" "You'll die!"